Hey guys, it's Hannah, nutrition coach and founder of Contemporary Cave Woman. So have you ever set a weight loss goal? Let's say you want to lose 14 pounds and then you pick a date, let's say November 1st, and then you calculate back how many pounds you need to lose every week in order to hit that goal. Let's say it comes out to 1.8 pounds per week. You get really motivated and excited, and then inevitably 1 week happens where you don't quite hit your goal. Then maybe another week happens where you fall short again, and eventually you end up just feeling frustrated and losing motivation and just giving up on your goal altogether. So if you can relate to this, first of all, you're not alone. This is something really common that a lot of my weight loss clients do. And they come to me with this goal in mind and a date and the amount per week and all of that. And so what I want to talk to you about today is kind of what I tell them and what I think is a better approach to weight loss than getting hooked on a number like this. So today I'm going to be talking about why weight loss isn't linear and what an actual healthy rate of weight loss is per week. And then also 2 ways that you can make your weight loss as steady and linear as possible, even though it's not going to be perfect. All right. So first, what I mean by linear, why weight loss isn't linear. So of course, it's going to be hard to lose an exact amount of weight every single week, right? Our weight fluctuates all the time, day to day, can be kind of all over the place, sometimes for no apparent reason. And so what we want to do, and what I do with clients, is that we actually look for weekly averages and trends over time. So that's one reason why I don't often recommend actually only weighing yourself once a week, because your weight could be up on that day that you weighed yourself, when in fact the average for that week actually shows that you lost weight. So just kind of a side note there. But again, what we want to see is those weekly averages trending down over time. And by the way, we also always take measurements and pictures and sometimes body fat percentage as well, because of course the scale doesn't always tell the whole story anyway. But again, that's what we want to see with weight loss, is just that trending down. And so an actual healthy rate for that downward trend is losing about 1 to 2 pounds per week, or about 1% of your body weight per week. So say if you're 200 pounds and you have a lot of weight to lose, then maybe you will be on that higher end of like the 2 pounds per week. And you really don't want to lose weight faster than that, because that is a sign that you are not just losing body fat, and you are most definitely losing muscle. So you really want to lose weight as slowly as possible. And especially the leaner you are, and say if you're just trying to lose like that last 10 pounds or so, it might even be less than a pound per week, maybe only like half a pound or something like that. So just keep that in mind. So that's really what we want to look for actually when it comes to steady weight loss. And now, like I said, it's not always going to be perfectly in that 1 to 2 pound range. Perhaps you might be a little off here or there. But there are 2 keys, I think, or 2 ways to really ensure that your weight loss is trending down in a steady way and as linear as possible. So the first one is to focus more on actions and systems rather than the scale. So I know this one is really hard. But when you think about it, you can't actually directly control what the scale says, right? We can't control that, but we can control the food we're putting into our bodies and how many times we work out this week, and are we getting our steps in? Are we meal prepping? Things like that. And when we tie our success to something that we can't control, it just is going to set us up for failure and eventually getting discouraged and losing motivation. But when we tie our success to actions and things that we can control, it's so much more empowering and motivating, and we are able to see progress a lot better. And so think more about that. Think about those actions that you need to take in order to lose the weight, and how can you create systems around that. And as James Clear said, I love this quote, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." So good, I love that quote. Okay, so the second key here to make your weight loss journey as linear as possible is to track your food. And of course, some people can lose weight just fine without tracking their food, so I'm not saying it's not necessarily everybody has to do this, But I think it's one of the best ways to nearly guarantee results, because when you track your food, you're able to create a control, so to speak. So when I work with clients, a lot of times I will have them track their macros and calories so that we know, okay, when you're eating about this much food, this is what happens with your weight. And say if their weight's staying the same, but they're eating these macros, then we know how to adjust, and we have a way to adjust. Whereas if your calories were kind of all over the place and your macros were all over the place and maybe your weight's not changing, it's harder to know exactly what direction to move in. So that's why tracking your food can be so helpful, and just one of the best ways to, again, guarantee that nice downward trend. So just a quick recap. I hope that all made sense. Weight loss is not linear. So if you're trying to lose weight right now, don't get discouraged if you see fluctuations. Just look for averages and trends going downward. And then 2 ways to make it as linear as possible is to focus on actions and systems more than the scale, and to track your food. And by the way, if you haven't tracked before, there's a lot of free apps out there that you can get started with. MyFitnessPal is one that I use myself, and the one that I typically recommend with clients. There's a free version that works great. And just a word of caution, if you do sign up for it for the first time, a lot of those apps will give you general macros and calories to shoot for, and it's often very generic and not exactly what you should be eating. So keep that in mind, take it with a grain of salt. And if you've never tracked your food and you don't know how much you should be eating, highly recommend working with a nutrition coach, someone like myself, or somebody that can help you actually understand how much you should be eating and help you know if you're on the right track as far as the amounts of foods that you're eating. So with that, and if you guys need any help with this, by the way, with either one of those, like creating systems, focusing on actions, and understanding how much food to eat, enrollment is currently open for my new small group coaching program called the CC Circle. And in that program, we will be focusing on developing really solid systems around meal prep and working out and that kind of thing. There'll be a lot of accountability, making sure that you are focused on those actions that you need to take. And then of course, everyone will get a custom nutrition plan with macros so that they understand exactly how much they've been eating, what exactly has been keeping them stuck, and then how to eat in order to start seeing progress and reach their goals. So if you want to apply and see if that could be the right fit for you, you can book a call at contemporarycavewoman.com/strategy. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.